Check, 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 check. We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pre recorded program for air date August 10th for all the radio stations. I got some stuff that popped up on me that I got to be in right away at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, right away tomorrow. So I won't be able to do the show live. So I'm going to be doing it here this evening here for a rebroadcast for tomorrow morning. That makes sense, doesn't it? I think so. The new host of K-Fire's morning program, Mr. Jamie Brecht.
Yellow.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing at good morning? That we got to act like it's Saturday morning.
All right, we can do that.
Josh says, "What's up? What's up is I got to do a show tonight for tomorrow morning so I can get over to the neighbors and help move some cows."
Yeah, that's what I figured. My wife just came in and she goes, "Aubrey said you're doing a show," and I'm on with Scott, and I'm not. Yeah, so
you are
awesome, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
No problem.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna time it out just like the hour would be at 9:06, so it's 9:01. So we're just gonna time things out here the same as it's gonna be. That way, I can keep my poop in a group and all that good stuff. So
great.
It took me a while to catch my horses tonight. Oh, dicks! Last time I used them was a week ago, and it was hotter than snot. And I mean, I used the dog piss out of them, and they did not want to come in. Usually, every morning they're waiting for the treats. They haven't seen me in a week. They're like, "Screw you." They were pissed. They were pissed at me, man.
They do like to pull that. They do get mad. People don't realize that.
One of them's just a dick. John Anderson, Master John. Good morning, buddy. See, he's playing the rounds. See, here's the difference between Saturday morning and a Friday night. When I'm doing this as a pre-show, if you see my drink in my hand, it is a different color than it is on Saturday mornings.
What color is it now?
Take a guess.
Like apple juice color.
There you go. There you go. I'm drinking apple juice, my friend. There you go. And Master John knows about the apple juice shot in the mornings. That's how you get things going. Yeah. See, Master John, it wasn't just you. It was more than just one.
Okay, but who's the only guy who actually ever drank it after you said it was?
Every single one of them that I ever gave it to.
Really? Okay, that's awesome, man.
I don't have wussies as friends that come and join me here. There's no way, no how, my friends. No way.
No. So yeah, if anybody ever gets apple juice, you stay at Scott's place. You don't want to be the first one to not drink the apple juice.
I'll tell you this. I got 2.5 minutes to do my ivermectin shot for tomorrow morning because I'll be on. I still got my semi hooked up to my 24-foot trailer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking over tomorrow. There's some questionable trails that I need to see if I'll be able to make it. But if not, I will ride the rest of the way.
Are you guys still heavy dry down that way?
You know, we had 80 hundredths on Monday or early Monday morning. But yeah, we there was another fire today just outside of Raymond. It's nasty. So I bought a trailer. I was in Stanley today. That's why I'm a little bit late coming back. And I appreciate you waiting for me because I know you're on Central Time.
You bet.
But anyway, went and bought a hay trailer up in Stanley. Got back here. Those guys, once you get north of the interstate, holy moly, did they got hay. Unbelievable. It's just like Bowman and Slope counties, just like in a desolate abyss down here right now. Cheers to you. 60 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my dad got I got a second cutting off of one of them, and then he's done now. I'm heading up there tomorrow, actually in the afternoon. But I'm going to pick some corn up from my buddy's place. He's got a bunch of corn left, so I got my little Nissan loaded with buckets in the back. I'm gonna get out in the morning and fill them babies up. And I pick some apples tonight in my apple tree and get it ready just in case.
Okay. Master John says every other word's coming through YouTube. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
As a rerun, it'll come through straight.
I actually noticed that last week a few times when Jesse was talking, it was doing that.
Interesting.
I was going to tell you, but I figured you'd.
it's what do you do? There's YouTube is its own beast anymore.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what was in the bottom of my glass.
Coffee grounds.
See, Darren Munn says everything sounds good on his end. So here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking it off the YouTube feed, you have to have internet that supports this speed.
Right. I got
and
you.
K-Fire only is at 100 by 100, and that's not enough for all those stations. But stand by. We got 20 seconds to showtime. Stand by, Jamie.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Josh, for the update on that, too. Appreciate that. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. I'm Scott Bachmeier, your host, and the fastest hour in radio here. And I'd like to say it's live today, but it's not. I pre-recorded this here the evening before. Had a neighbor call in and needed some help, so I'm headed to help. When a friend asks for help, you help them. And that's what we do around this country here. So it's a pre-recorded show, so if you those that are listening on the YouTube live channel as I'm pre-recording this for the Saturday morning program, they can join in and ask all kinds of questions. If you're listening to this on the radio here on a Saturday morning, it is a kind of a pre-recorded program. Sorry about that. I love to do things live, but sometimes neighbors ask for help, and I'm going to guarantee my help to those guys because they guarantee me and myself. Jamie Breck, the latest guy, you know him from the #1 podcast in America. He beat Dana White's broadcast. He beat Trump's broadcast. He beat Kamala Harris's podcast from the Guns and the 701. Jamie Breck, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning, Scott. I'm doing great. I buried Kamala Harris's podcast. That was the easiest one.
My question is, I've seen some of the past things that she's done. And the only thing I can say is every single person in America can say, I have a chance of being president someday.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I mean, if you're going to take something good away from her past lifestyle, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time in the history of the United States, Scott, that a average intelligence person like me has a higher IQ than the president and the vice president. So
fair enough. So let me ask you this. If things turn, like, I don't know, the polls have changed, when it was Trump versus Biden, Trump was leading all. Now, I don't know where the polls come from. Who knows? I mean, I get these text messages that I delete all the time, and maybe I should answer them because I'm part of the problem because I don't answer them, and maybe that's the issue where they're getting some of this information. But it shows that Harris is leading in some of these polls across America. What happens, Jamie? What happens if her and the Islamic government from Minnesota get in? What happens? First and foremost, gun sales are going to go skyrocket, right? I mean, you know that right away.
Yeah, I think they're starting to pick up already. And a matter of fact, Scott, I just bought one the other day again. Not because of that. It's just more of something I wanted. But I can tell you, one of the first things that's going to happen is Biden has actually put in twice as many judges as Trump has. So they're taking the judicial system back over. She will appoint more judges when these older people retire or, sad to say, but die in the Supreme Court, and they will turn over all the constitutional cases that the Supreme Court has. That's one of the first things that's going to happen, right? The border is going to get even worse than it is now. I mean, honestly, Scott, I think it's going to be the end of America as we know it. Some people are shaking their head now and giving it the bitter beer face, but you're not going to convince me that it's not going to be the end. Because we can't stop it now, and it's going to get on steroids or a supercharger, whatever you want to call it, if she gets elected.
We can talk about illegal immigration and property taxes. We can talk about a lot of things, and that's covered on many of these radio stations. Talk shows cover that, so I'm not going to, but I'm going to cover this. When it comes to hunting rights, hunting regulations, and I'm going to go even more deep in that, Jamie, and saying there are animal activists that are infiltrated in North and South Dakota, and they put in for tags, and they have no chance that they want to go hunting. They want to get that tag out of somebody's hand.
Yep.
And it's happening. Okay, it's
for
happening
sure.
in a deep. I had somebody come up to me and they asked me, I can't remember where it was, but anyway, they came up to me. They said, I never even thought of that. They said, how many of the, I mean, it's hard to tell how many people, but you can see the percentage sometimes going a little bit less and a little bit less, but you're going to start seeing an increasingly more people getting involved in this. Now, when you come to agricultural and hunting issues, it doesn't seem like they're as friendly on the Harris side that we'll see. Now, some people can make the argument on the agricultural side, well, Scott, the calf prices since Biden has been in have been up higher than they ever have been, but so has fuel prices, input costs. I went to John Deere and bought a pigtail for my baler for a little electrical thing. It cost $17 last year. It cost me $97 this year. So slowly but surely, the ag and hunting side, they're coming after, but I think it's through the back door, Jamie.
Well, I mean, it seems like that now, Scott, but if they get power and they retain the power they have in the Senate, it's like they'll kick the door in, man. It's going to be a no-knock raid on everything they don't like. Look at California's, the way they treat hunting, you know, and your hunting ammunition and all that stuff. Kamala Harris loves all that stuff. She wants that for the entire United States, right? And they choke off farmers and ranchers with the water supply because they got some minnow that they think is going to be extinct. Remember, you know, I mean, they do that all over down there with stuff like that. And that's the kind of thing we're going to get here. I'm terrified, man.
It's already here in some forms. You can see it in the Forest Service in the last 3.5 years, Jamie. It's changed substantially, but also they're still in power right now. Okay, so you know, Harris, you know, she's talking about tightening the border up, and you can do that right now. You don't have to wait till the election comes, right? I mean, that's stuff that they're available right now and ready to do. And here's my other question: what happened? How come I haven't heard from Biden since the debate?
Yeah, I think I heard him come out mumbling one time, and it was, I mean, he was really tripping over his words, and it was a real short deal. But you're right. I mean, that guy is pretty much non-existent, which I didn't really believe he was running the show anyways. I don't like, a lot of people say Obama is. I think it's just basically the Democrat machine behind closed doors who are running the whole thing, and maybe Obama's the wizard behind the curtain there. But I, you know, it seems like he is, right?
Wizard of Oz stuff going on there. Yeah. Don't look behind the curtains.
Yeah, and so as far as Biden goes, yeah, I mean, I don't know what, kick him out or leave him there. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, whoever they have in charge, all of them think exactly like Joe Biden does. So they're going to do the same exact policies. You know, when Kamala does it, we're just going to get that annoying cackle she's got. We're going to hear that. And her, man, I mean, I don't feel like I'm a very cogent person, but I really feel like I'm a college professor when I listen to her.
You know, here's the thing too, is what we have to watch out for is, you know, they really stick together, Jamie. And
yeah, they do.
Whether or not they agree to disagree. You know, you look on the other side of the aisle, you and I will have an argument. And we'll take it at each other, but not so much on that side. They're going to stick together no matter what. And what's worried me now is you look at a lot of social media posts. Maybe they're all framed this way, but it sure seems like they're pushing for those polls to favor one way or another. Now, one of my good friends that lives in Minnesota says, Waltz will look the other way until his agenda is met. Look at what he did to Minnesota and the Twin Cities during the riots. Now, there's good portions of Minnesota, but when it comes to Minneapolis, St. Paul, I don't want to go there. I don't want my wife to go there. I don't want anybody visiting. So things are a little bit different. Now we'll touch on that. Well, let's touch on youth deer tags. We'll talk about elk hunting. Jamie Brecht, the #1 podcast right now in iHeartMedia. And where else do you have it on Spotify? And
so you can find you know, Guns in the 701's podcast and my podcast, which is under that umbrella, 701 Nation. You can find that on basically every podcast platform.
All right.
There is, Scott.
We got to a break. We'll be back after these messages.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to the next sale coming up Wednesday, August 14th. 2 different rings, and it is the Upper Midwest August 2024 equipment auction. Ring number 1, tractors and equipment. Ring number 2, panels and more, including skid steer attachments. Also coming up Thursday, August 15th, the Bricks Farm Retirement Auction out of Breckenridge, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota coming up with their sale on Tuesday, August 27th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to the next sale coming up Wednesday, August 14th. 2 different rings, and it is the Upper Midwest August 2024 equipment auction. Ring number 1, tractors and equipment. Ring number 2, panels and more, including skid steer attachments. Also coming up Thursday, August 15th, the Bricks Farm Retirement Auction out of Breckenridge, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota coming up with their sale on Tuesday, August 27th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, all across the Dakota Territory. I'm telling you, I am so fortunate to be part of the major stations that are covering 6 states and a couple of Canadian provinces. Not only that, Benny Paulson, the music that you heard right there, I've been using his versions of coming in and out of these commercials for a long time. Great guy, and he has new music out there. Find him on iTunes. He's doing a great thing. He's got a couple TV shows out there too, so check that out as well. Jamie Brecht from the 701 Nation, Guns in the 701. Yeah, so you have so many of these things in the last 3 years. You've changed. You are like the Hawk Tui girl of radio and podcast.
Just spit on that thing. You feel me?
You really are. So and you now here's the thing is, you and I met when I was doing live radio and I took over for a talk show host years and years and years ago.
Yep.
All right. 2011 is when I took that over. And
man, how long ago? Huh?
Yes, and had some situations, ended up back here at the ranch. Best move of my life. Don't get me wrong. Still doing radio because of courtesy of great rural cooperative broadband companies. Mine is Consolidated. There's Beck there. They got Golden West in South Dakota. Plenty of other ones. I know I'm missing a few. SRT and Minot, and a few other ones. I'm not positive what Piers is, but West River in Mobridge. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do the radio that I'm doing right now. But you and I met in 2011. I was doing a talk show. You said you called me up. You had some ideas and things on the radio. And all of a sudden, you said, why don't we meet for a beer? And we went and had for beer. And now coming up, if you're in the KFYR range, one of my affiliates that are listening this morning, next week, Friday, you're filling in for one of the major talk shows. And all I got to say to you, Jamie, is you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And hopefully it should go a little smoother than when I tried to fill in for you that time. I mean, Todd did get me on, but the YouTube thing didn't work, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm I filled in for Daryl that one day, which that went fairly good. But but yeah, I'm next Friday the 16th. I'm filling in for Mike Bell, and of course Monday Clay is on Dakota Mornings. You're going to be his guest on there as well.
I'll be his guest for the first hour.
Okay.
And
good.
So as this
looking forward to it.
As this is airing, all of the higher ups at iHeartRadio is like, oh, geez, Scott's going to be on a whole hour.
Good.
All right.
I'm glad you're on more.
All right. Well, it's done with politics. Well, we'll probably cover politics a little bit more.
I mean, everything's political.
Your girl has a youth tag.
You bet.
Now this, and since this covers both North and South Dakota, you're in the North Dakota border, and North Dakota made a new rule that the youth can hunt during the adult season.
Yep.
Are you going to hunt the youth season with her, or are you going to wait and take her out for the adult side?
No, we're going out for the youth season, and I'm not quite sure exactly where we're going to hunt you. I'm fairly certain it's not going to be at our ranch because the whitetail they're way down there.
Yeah.
The whitetail does. But I got a few options for that. But yeah, we're going to go out. I'm thinking, we're probably going to leave. We'll be that Friday. Probably take that Friday off. She's jacked up about it. I got her out finally. I got to tell you, Scott, I switched her off. She so badly wanted to hunt with that AR-15, but she wasn't shooting very good with it. And I had to sit her down there at the range and give her a little honest talk about how it wasn't working and I wasn't going to have her shoot at a deer with that kind of accuracy. So I switched her over to the Ruger Ranch 223. Took her out to my buddy Axel Hondo's place there west of Mandan, and she was absolutely sniping stuff with it, and she was jacked up. It was the funnest range day the both of us had, and she's ready. We're definitely going to go out and do it some more. I told her the targets are going to keep getting smaller and smaller, and I put the 200-yard cap on it because she's using the 223, right? Yeah. And we gel tested the ammo and everything, and that at 200. I'm 100% confident with that. But I told her I'd rather it be 100 and in because when the deer comes in, she's never done that. She's spotted deer with me on the blind and that, but never had to the license, of course, and pointed the gun at it. So we're going to see how that goes. But she's excited. So is Dad.
So are you discussing to her right behind the shoulder? Are you looking behind the ear? How are you training your first-time hunting daughter to shoot the first deer? What are you looking at here?
I'm going to be right behind her. I'm not, I'm going to let her go, and I'm going to just tell her, make 100% sure you're confident in this. If you got any questions, don't feel embarrassed. If you want to ask Dad a question before you pull the trigger, because I said I don't want any gut shots. I said, do you want to wound a deer? Or do you want to make a good shot? So I'm going to be right there with her. If she's got anything, or she doesn't feel comfortable, I'm going to say put it on safe, and we'll wait till the next one comes by. I'm not going to push her to do anything or force a bad shot. I don't want to see that, and I don't want her having. I know a lot of not just young girls but young boys who have had bad shots and bad first hunting experiences, and some of them got back into hunting, but some of them never did. And they tell me that. And I don't want that to happen.
Okay, so as always, I'm going to play the devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. When you have a first-time hunter, male or female, it doesn't matter to my eyes, and they make a marginal shot and you see something suffer,
mm-hmm.
It does something to that person. They don't like it. Sometimes it's like a big negative against hunting, right? Even though they pull the trigger on this. On the other hand, Jamie,
mm-hmm.
there's a way of learning from this. If you gut shoot them, or it's not a perfect shot.
Mm-hmm.
When you find that animal, because they will die, when you find that animal and you cut them open and you explain why it's important to shoot accurately, when you open that up and they gut shot them and you have to clean that nasty smell out, it trains them to say, that's another reason why we don't want to make a bad shot.
Yeah.
Right. In my mind, I hate that smell when I open up something that somebody marginally shot. And I've done it too. I mean, I hit an antelope.
Yeah, I'm not for sure.
A long ways away, and it wasn't a great shot, but it killed him. And antelope stink worse than anything I've ever opened up. And that's why I carry those silver bullets with me. And I'm not talking about Coors Lights either. I'm talking about the water fire extinguishers.
When I was with you and you shot your antelope, heart shot, man, that was a doe.
That was different.
To me, she stunk way worse than even the buck that I just shot.
Yeah.
And I did hit that one back on the first shot, but and I got him in the neck on the second one there. But yeah, that doe smelled way worse to me than that buck I got. And I had a worse shot than you did. So
I'm thinking right behind the ear shots and everything else from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I will tell you this: if that deer isn't 100, I'm going to tell her. If you want to do a headshot, by all means, feel free to do it, because I'm good with that. I love gutting deer out that haven't been shot in their cavity. It's so clean in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So much.
And that's lights out right away. Right away, it's lights out.
So you have 60 seconds to tell me, how do you get a young girl, and you're a father of only girls, 2 girls. How do you get them interested in hunting, fishing, more of the outdoorsy stuff? How do you do that as a dad?
Well, I did, Scott. I took both of them out at a very young age, setting up ground blinds, doing stuff on the farm, taking them out to my friends' places who lived out of town, giving them rides in people's Rangers or mules. Rode around in my dad's tractor, stuff like that. And then I had the gun. We shot the 22s, and they both like that. And my youngest she's definitely a gun nut and very interested in hunting. My older one likes to shoot, not going to be at this point as passionate. Doesn't want to hunt. She had a tag one year and she backed out of it, which I'm fine with. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they both understand already the Second Amendment and where food comes from, and hunting and farming and ranching. And, you just got to get them out in the country and start at a young age teaching them. And I'm not saying be a Nazi or a dictator about it, because nobody wants to be taught that way. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm very happy with how my girls are done. I'm real happy that they're both going to be a lot smarter than me.
Learning how to Even though you don't want to hunt, you still know where your food comes from. That is the key. Whether you have boys or girls, it doesn't matter. Even yourself. We'll be back after these messages.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to the next sale coming up Wednesday, August 14th. 2 different rings, and it is the Upper Midwest August 2024 equipment auction. Ring number 1, tractors and equipment. Ring number 2, panels and more, including skid steer attachments. Also coming up Thursday, August 15th, the Bricks Farm Retirement Auction out of Breckenridge, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, coming up with their sale on Tuesday, August 27th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to the next sale coming up Wednesday, August 14th. 2 different rings, and it is the Upper Midwest August 2024 equipment auction. Ring number 1, tractors and equipment. Ring number 2, panels and more, including skid steer attachments. Also coming up Thursday, August 15th, the Bricks Farm Retirement Auction out of Breckenridge, Minnesota, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, coming up with their sale on Tuesday, August 27th. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you'll still
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, all across the Dakota Territory. Proud to be here, nearly 2 decades strong on all of these great radio stations. Good to have you along, plus my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. And Jamie Brecht, the guru of podcasts.
Best podcast on iHeart, Guns in 701 and 701 Nation.
Wow. And is it just on iHeart, or you got like Spotify? You got all those too?
No, we are on all of them, but we recommend iHeart because we are on with Todd Mitchell in the morning. So we like to, and we come on as your guest too.
And the thing is, all of my South Dakota listeners like, who? We don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear some different things, okay. So here's the thing about, like we were talking before we hit the break here for the second half hour here, is teaching the kids the right way. And I'm not saying right or wrong one way or the other, but I feel that you should be able to teach your kids the truth in where your food comes from.
Yeah.
So some of the small areas of Minnesota still have some true-blooded Red Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Master John says, that's what's important here. He says, it seems like nobody understands where the food comes from or what it takes to raise it. Farming, ranching, the hopes that they need to jump, the hoops that they need to jump through to make it, and it's hard to survive. And he came from a place in the northeastern part of South Dakota, farming and ranching and doing all that stuff. And he understands. Every year he comes out to branding, comes out and helps out and understands the importance of teaching where this comes from. That's kind of a lost cause. So in your kids, you're born and raised in the inner city, as we say, right? Whether you like it or not, Jamie, you're inner city.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you teach kids that are, and your wife's a teacher too, and how do you portray this? How do you get them involved in this when it seems like so many of these in the urban areas are against agricultural and hunting?
Yeah, because they really don't in schools. They don't get that taught to them and as much as they used to. And for sure, when you and I were growing up, you did a rural school. Well, most of my schooling was here in Bismarck, but most of us had a connection to a farm or a ranch from our ancestors.
Before you get into your thing, I want to ask you, what do you think rural school means in your mind?
I went to Apple Creek School, which is a rural school too. So outside of city limits, in the county, they're not inside city limits. And I went to small town schools. I went to Golden Valley. I was a Comet for a year, and in Halliday, I was a Wolverine for a year too. So,
I'm going to give you a little history on my side.
Okay.
Because I enjoyed so much growing up. I grew up. I loved it. Okay.
Yep.
So people know the Flasher area of North Dakota. Flasher. I was south of there. There's a little town called Raleigh. And I was southeast of there, about 3 miles of the crow flies. There's a little area called the Three Buttes. And my dad owned 2 of the 3 buttes. And these had a lot of Native American history back in the day. There was a lot of history back then. Anyway, when we grew up, I went from kindergarten through 8th grade in a school that there was 3 grades per each class.
Yep. So I was at Apple Creek. Yeah.
Kindergarten was separate, but 1st, 2nd, 3rd was in one group, one room, and one teacher. There was no right, and 4th, 5th, 6th, one room, one teacher.
Yeah.
7th, 8th, that was one room, one teacher. And then you went. Well, the high school closed down because it was St. Gertrude's Catholic School. They closed down. I ended up going to Flasher High School, and it was mind blowing because I went from having 4 kids in my grade to 17. Holy moly, right? That was a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. But every single one of us either milked cows, had cows. We did. Every single one of them back then. That isn't today's society.
No.
And do they teach, coming from your wife's perspective, they teach agriculture? They teach where their food comes from? Is that even taught in school anymore?
My wife, she's a special ed teacher, so I mean, she somewhat does it. I mean, I don't know how that goes to her students, but I mean, the other teachers tell me, yes, some of them do, but I mean, they'll even tell me that it's not like it used to be for when they went to school.
Sure.
And then, like you were saying, Scott, even when I got done with Apple Creek Country School, because I was like you, we had this, 3 different grades in one classroom. Miss Gillis was our teacher, and when I got to Simley Middle School, which my daughter's in now, but I got there, and even there, most of the kids that I met there had a connection to their family farm or their family ranch, or somebody in their family, their uncle had a ranch. Now it's not like that anymore. Most of these people, they grew up in the city, and they don't know what happens on a farm.
Yeah.
A lot of kids would go, even here, they would go work cattle. It was branding season. They went out to grandpa's or Uncle John's or whatever and helped them work the cattle, or they went out and made hay in the summer and hauled bales or something to that effect, or butchered a hog. That doesn't happen to most of them now. And I think that's a big part of the disconnect with reality for people where food comes from.
Back in the day, we have something, and I this isn't politically correct, and everybody knows I'm not a politically correct guy. But but back in the day, and I hate to say this because I turned 50 this year, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel you, man.
Well, no, you don't.
Where's that party going to be anyway?
Yeah, it was in Las Vegas, my friend.
That's right. That's right. That's what I was going to fill in for you.
My wife is the best person in the world. Says, you're turning 50. I'm taking you to Vegas. And my sister, who lives down there, of course, her 2 daughters showed up for it. My brother out of Stanton came all the way down. And I mean, it was just okay. So beside that, I forget where I was going now. And now we got Vegas on my mind again. God.
Well, we were talking about the connection to farms and school kids, and
yeah, I still forget.
That jogs your memory.
I still forget. Darren Munn says Hazen's egg teacher still teaches meats class.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't do that, do you? Anyway, so back in the day, everybody had a connection to agriculture some way or another. That has kind of been removed a little bit. And I think in a way that was forced upon by our parents, at least at my age, because my folks looked at me. I wanted to buy my neighbor's place in the worst way. I wanted to stay back in the Raleigh area.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said he wants, and this was my godfather, Gene and Clem Volk, my godparents.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to buy their place because they had a parlor and our milk stations were just stanchions, and people that are in the milk, they understand that. And young people probably don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was a better situation. I was like, and my dad, we went to the bank and it was $96 an acre, Jamie. And they're like, no, you can't do it. Can't do it. There's no way it's going to pencil out. $96 an acre.
I mean, honestly, Scott, that sounds almost like it's free, right? Really, right?
In today's society, but you got to remember things change, right? And that's how things change so much. Is my folks were like, go get a better education, do something better than what we had, because they went through the drought of the 80s and it was terrible, right? I mean, it was bad for them. And so what do you do, right? And that's also, well, let's tie this into the hunting situation. Situations like that were bad in the 80s, and all of a sudden CRP came evolved, right? Let's take these highly erodible lands out of production. It had nothing to do with conservation at all. All of a sudden, you let that grass grow, and there were pheasants and grouse and partridge and deer and everything else that you wanted to hunt. And some of these guys are like, well, we can make a little bit of money off this. Let's charge for it. Now everybody's against charging for hunting. But you got to remember, these ag guys way back in the day, the only way they can make ends meet and keep maybe the next generation taking over the farm or ranch was to be able to do this.
Yep.
I think some people forget that, just like agriculture is forgotten in the urban side of things. They forget where their conservation came from. Everybody says Teddy Roosevelt was the father of conservation. I say that the local farmers and ranchers around North and South Dakota were the fathers of conservation. That's where it originally came from.
For sure. Yeah, well, I mean, Teddy didn't know anything about farming. I mean, he might have had national
He
parks. Where
spent 18 months out here, and he came from New York. Now, okay, so here's the thing about it. I'm going to give my whole spiel about Teddy Roosevelt. I give him credit. I mean, he was in the front lines and San Juan, right? I mean, he was there.
Yep.
I still think the president should be on the front line of some battle somewhere, or at least served in the military somehow. If you're going to be the leader of our military in our free country, you should have.
I don't want Tim Walz in there, and he served.
Oh, Trump hasn't served either. I'm just saying.
But, yeah,
I personally feel, if you're going to lead this country, you have to have some type of military experience of some sort, at least seen battle. And I think that's going to change your mind on how you look at things. But anyway, I think Teddy Roosevelt, he did a great job in the battle side of things. What he did and his personal argument with the Demores in Medora, that's a separate thing. There was an argument, and when he got some power, he switched everything to a national park out of spite. And that's in his own.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's in his own memoirs, and a lot of people don't know that. But him and the Demores did not see eye to eye. However, at our ranch, it was open grazing back then, and my wife's great-great-grandfather. This is how our brand came to be here at the ranch. So it was neighboring up with one of his not so politically correct named hired hands. And I'm not going to say that on the air, Jamie, by the way, because it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Because back then they had names for people that it wasn't.
That you can't say on the air.
You can't say now. You can't say it now at all. No, not at all. And some of the people are kind of giggling right now in their mind going, we know what you're talking about. The other like 98% are like trying to Google it right now. Like, where? You're not going to find it because Google took it off because it's that racist.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
it was different. It was a dark-skinned gentleman that was his ranch hand, and his name was Tyler. And if you take the racist form of that and put it in front of Tyler, you will find a lot of information about that. And he was the neighbor just north of where this ranch originated, and these cattle ran together many, many times. And that's how this brand came to be. So there's a lot of history. But here's the thing about Teddy Roosevelt, though, is he loved hunting. And he hunted everything. He shot everything he wanted to shoot before there was rules and regulations until he got into that, and then they made some rules and regulations about it.
Yeah, good enough for me, but not the
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good big gun guy too. So
big gun, big bore gun too.
Yeah. So, big medicine.
And don't get me wrong. Now, Teddy Roosevelt is his name is portrayed on a lot of things now. Jake Wagner down at the Baker Wild Game Feed. This fall has a Teddy Roosevelt collection of guns, all the calibers that he used. You need to come down to this. I invited you every single year, and you're always like, "Oh, I got to go deer hunting." Well,
I don't have a tag this year, so we'll see.
Get down here, come join me, help me with the auction. But these guns are phenomenal down in this area. Tell you that.
Yeah, well, I think last year when you did it, actually, I was down in Tampa. I was listening to you guys on my buddy's boat down there. So, but we'll see what happens this year. It's not,
and you weren't even fishing; you were just hanging out.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know how I lost my passion for fishing because I used to love it like everybody else, and I don't know. I just there's something in me when I get out on a boat. I want it to be nice, and I want to be kicked back, subwoofer bumping on the boat, tunes loud, and drinking cold ones. I love eating walleye. My neighbor Troy brings me walleye, and I never say no because walleye is awesome. Right. I'll even take northern from people with the bones out.
So since we're talking about hunting, fishing, agriculture, and everything on the show, and you just said you like to go drinking,
Yep.
What's the beer of choice?
Coors Light.
Didn't they have
It was Busch Light.
Didn't Coors Light have an argument years ago, being that Bud Light thing going on way back when?
Like what do you mean?
I thought it was like 8 years ago or something like that. Didn't Coors Light do something where Bud Light did like a couple years ago, and they supported something or another, and
they sponsored a gay I don't know. Can you say the G word? The homosexual rodeo or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and you're still doing. How come we haven't gotten into Hamm's beer yet?
Does Hamm's make a light beer?
They do.
Really?
But
okay. Well, you might.
Here's the
you
thing.
Might have me then.
No, here's the thing, there, Jamie. Hamm's Original. You don't need to have a light beer. You don't need to have a dark beer. It is right in the middle for the people with the sophisticated class of what we're talking about right now.
Well, there's going to be a problem with me on that.
Why?
Because I switched over to straight Coors for a while, and I think the alcohol content's higher, and the amount of beer that I drink when I sit down, it was like drinking whiskey, so it didn't work for me.
Okay.
I gotta have a light beer. I don't like the heavy taste of a lot of the straight beers.
Now you're just blowing up my YouTube is blowing up right now, going, you don't even know what the alcohol content is right away.
I don't. I don't. I'm assuming
settle
it is,
down.
but
don't worry about it. Sit back and enjoy. Okay.
I do know that White Claw has a higher alcohol content than most light beers. So
White Claw. Okay, I don't know about that.
Yep.
I guess.
I don't drink White Claw, but I do know that because it gets a bad rap from a lot of people. But go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got this text that comes from the YouTube. It says, "I'll go with WW2 German beer before Hamm's."
That's some thick beer right there. That's some thick beer. Guinness and stuff like that.
And my text, where I'm headed to tomorrow, it says Rainier all day. Remember Rainier beer?
Yeah, the commercial Rainier.
Yeah, Rainier.
Yeah, the guy shifting the motorcycle.
They still make it in Montana, Ollie, Montana.
Where's that at?
You got to Google this thing. That's where I'm going to be tomorrow. Ollie, Montana has the most Rainier consumption in the nation.
I don't know that I've seen a can of Rainier, and I know I haven't. I don't
It's
know
bottles. It's bottles now. Anyway, what they're serving it, but I'm telling you right now, it is popular in eastern Montana.
Okay.
So if you're going to go, here's the thing. If you're going to go elk hunting or antelope hunting and you're going to go to eastern Montana, whether you're North or South Dakota, you're like, you know what? I'm going to get a tag. Take 7 full cases of Rainier beer. And if you can't find it, stop in one of the Montana towns because they have it and take it to the person that you're going to be hunting on. They'll be like so happy to see you.
So they got it in Miles City then?
Oh, I'm sure they got it. Everywhere in Montana has it. I think Rainier is originally out of was it Oregon?
Yeah,
sure. So this program.
No, it was Washington because Mount Rainier is in.
That's in Washington. Yeah, but I think they still have the brewing company. Anyway, this program has gone way off from hunting to beers all of a sudden here. And now I'm getting so many comments about beers here. It says Hamm's. I'll go with this.
Let's hear them. If somebody can give me a viable alternative to Coors Light, I mean, I'll do it. I can't drink Busch Light. I switched to Busch Light. I mean, that stuff plugged my nose from allergies. I don't know why. Coors Light. You and Clay, actually, you pretty much, when I met you, hanging out with you, and I met you guys come down there.
I started it.
Yeah, you got me on
switch it. I'm going to switch you.
So now you're trying to kick me off the boat here.
Yeah,
so.
We're going to get you up to the next level. Anyway, we're up to the end of the radio side. For those of you on YouTube, you want to stay for the after show. I guarantee it's going to be pretty darn good. So stay with me. Have yourself a good time. Eat some meat. Drink some milk. Wear fur and wool. Have yourself a good day. Enjoy the weekend. All right, I went a little long on that one.
That's fine.
No,
That's
it's not.
fine. Hey,
fine.
we're
All
getting
the
into
stations
beer,
like,
man.
you suck, Scott. You suck. All right. Dead Wolf Resistance 13. As in, I raise a glass to the great chancellor. Ever have a Billy beer? I've had a Billy beer. Yes, I have had. Have you ever had a
What
Billy
is?
beer?
I mean, I've heard of it. Remind me what it is
Okay.
again.
Oh, let me think here. Billy beer. So there was
It
Gillies.
sounds like you're saying Billy Beard, but you're saying Billy Beer.
Billy beer. So there was Gillies, and he had
Yep.
Gillies beer. Billy, I think that was was it the president's beer?
Like Billy, like Jimmy Carter's brother?
It was one of those guys. I thought it was a political thing. It was Billy something. Anyway, I did have a Billy beer. I just don't remember the history of it. They're messaging me right now. The Bud Ice was my favorite back in the 90s. Good God.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember Bud Ice.
Oh no. I got a Bud Ice story, buddy.
Okay.
I don't know who. Hold on there. Dead Wolf Resistance is. Okay, on my YouTube
Mhm.
channel. Here's the thing about Bud Ice.
Is that
Okay.
Marty?
No, it doesn't look like his profile pic. But anyway, here's the thing about Bud Ice. In the mid 90s, there was a gal that posed for the Bud Ice posters.
Mm-hmm.
She was from Bowman, North Dakota.
Awesome.
Yes. A buddy of mine and I, we used to work out every morning at 4 a.m. at the rec center. We had our own key to get into the weight room because we started our days at 6.
I mean, that's getting after it at 4 a.m. working out. But go on.
This guy was a brick shithouse, man. He was fucking huge, and he still is today. Good guy, rodeo guy. He was a steer wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Just a massive amount of a man, and I'm not. But he pushed me to new limits on this whole freaking lifting thing. But anyway, we didn't know that this rec center had a sauna. So there was a cardio room, and in the we didn't do cardio. We were fucking weightlifters, right? That's cardio. I hope the station.
Curls for the girls.
Anyway, yeah, we were freaking just bam, 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 right? Anyway, we went in and we were doing this cardio because he says, well, we got to do cardio. I'm like, okay, I guess we got to do this. And this girl comes in a Bud Ice bikini. Didn't have a shawl or robe, walked through the hallways in this stuff. And she walked into this whole thing, walked into this room, opened this door and went in. We're like, what's this?
I mean, were you guys thinking like tapping each other? Like, are we dreaming here? Is this really happening?
Not even close, because this gal was so out of our goddamn league, man.
That's what I mean. Like, is this really happening? Is she real?
She's real. We walked into the room. We're like, what's this? And she's like, oh, you guys didn't know there's a sauna back here? We're like, no. All right. So my buddy was married to a very, very lovely lady, by the way.
Yeah.
He calls her on the 1993 Motorola cell phone. Says, can you bring Scott and I a 6-pack of beer to the sauna? She's like, there's a sauna? Like, nobody knew there was a goddamn sauna in this building.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yep.
She did. She brought it in. We met her out. We got him in. And we started drinking these damn beers with this girl. And we find out she is the middle girl of the Bud Ice pitchers.
I mean, how did that come about, being from Bowman?
She was from Bowman.
I mean, how did that ever happen?
I have no idea. We didn't care about asking those questions. We just wanted to know what poster. And then we got a couple. She had some and she signed them for us and all this kind of stuff. And all that one. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so when this guy brings up this Bud Ice, and this is the shit that goes through my head when I come in. Okay.
Oh, understandable.
Right. So Billy Beer was Jimmy Carter's brother.
Okay, I was right.
Yeah.
I was right. I said Billy.
I
Jimmy
knew.
Carter's brother.
Yeah. Okay. Black Velvet all day, every day from Darren Mund.
Ooh, Darren, you got to get together with my dad because my dad is a BV pimp.
Dead Wolf Resistance says, I have Bud Ice stories. Bud Ice was amazing.
I think Bud Ice was one of those things that kind of gave me a headache. I mean, I drank it, but
hold on. Hold on. These guys they're all of a sudden a Friday night's going crazy. It says Darren, the girl you were telling me and Nicole yes, I was telling you about them 2 weeks ago at the damn fishing tournament, Darren. This is the same damn girl.
Oh, so nobody's giving me any new beers to take up here, Scott. I got to be. There's two stipulations
Hams
I have.
and Rainier.
Okay, so here's my two stipulations though. It's got to be light beer and it's got to come in a pounder.
No, first off, first Hams comes in a pounder and screw pounders because that's just stupid.
Light beer.
Second, light beer, it doesn't matter. So I was a light beer guy.
Mm-hmm.
I switched to Hams. Hams is like light beer, but only for men.
Man, I drank Hams from, actually the minor possession I got, I was drinking Hams.
That you can't say this back in the day when you're, okay. So where I'm going to tomorrow to ride.
Yeah.
All right. So Jay says, dude, Rainier all day for the sophisticated classes. Then he was coming back with the Billy Beer Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is better than the cheap stuff at a certain branding couple of years ago.
Which was?
I'm not going to say it.
Not the branding, but the beer. I'm asking, what cheap stuff is he?
What the hell was that? It's like
my grandma was notorious.
No, it was a choice between. It was a choice between Natty Lights and Schlitz. That's what it was.
Schlitz is like, I'm saying like worst beers, top two. It's one of the top two for me. It's that or Stroh's. One of the top two worst beers I've ever drank. Natty Light goes good with some clamato juice, but just buying a 30
Christ,
of Natty.
We need to get you down here in this country for some goddamn man. Well, you need to man up, man. I mean, what you're doing is just all city stuff here.
I'm gonna buy some Hams. If I tell you what,
don't buy no damn pounder. Don't buy no damn pounders.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's pounders.
No.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try Hams for the first time, here's how you're gonna do it. You freeze a mug in the freezer.
It isn't my first time, but okay.
I don't care if it's your first time or not, but we're going to get you in this the right way. Because I had one of these the other day, and it reminded me why I like ham so much. And it's not because it was mostly free in this goddamn county that I live in, okay?
So you're going to freeze the mug up. You're going to get the mug chilled and then
freeze the mug. You pour this in there, and you put a couple dashes of salt on top of it.
Oh, I'm down with that.
You drink that down. You do another one with the same mug, so it warms up a little bit. And then you go straight to the can. But you don't do pounders because once it gets past 12 ounces, you got to go do a mug. Okay?
Well, you got to realize that I drink beer faster than the average bear, so...
Jay says Bud Ice was better than Old Milwaukee Ice. I'll tell you this. Anything with the word ice after it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I don't care.
With that.
You can't judge Bud Ice to Old Milwaukee. None of it was good.
So speaking of Old Mill and Light, I actually don't mind Old Mill Light in the pounders.
Well, here's a problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I got a message. One Shot Cap said he brings back a memory from my dad. My dad drank one beer and one beer only that I snuck my first few tastes of beer in my life.
Okay.
I guarantee you will never guess what it is.
Black Label.
No. Second, I'll give you 3 guesses. Second guess, go.
Oli.
Nope. Try again. Oh, Olympia that's good beer, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. One more guess. I'm gonna go the PBR, the ribbon.
Nope. Schmidt Big Mouth.
Oh, I actually like Schmidt Big Mouth.
Here's the thing. So my dad died in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
I qualified for the Olympics in 1999.
Really?
Shit. I just said it on YouTube. Don't say anything to anybody. Okay.
Okay.
There's some stuff I did back in the day. I used to be cool. To this day,
Wow.
the same day that I qualified was the same day that my dad got diagnosed with cancer, and it was not
shit.
good, right?
Yeah.
And if I could find Schmidt Big Mouth, I don't even know if they make this stuff anymore. I tell you what,
Mhm.
I'd pay
I don't either.
I'd pay a lot of money for a 6-pack of that, and I would sit back. And anybody who want to hear stories about my dad, man, that guy he was fun. He was one of those guys, man. He'd sit back, and as hard as you worked in a day, we used to have this guy every summer. There was a guy that walked, and he was a drifter. His name was Nathan. And on one of his hand, he had no fingers left. They were just stubs. They got him cut off in like a combine accident or something or another. I can't remember what happened, but I was pretty young. When this guy showed up, my dad would hire him for 3 weeks. And this was a working machine. On the last day, we sat down on the front step. My dad, every night at sunset, would sit on the front steps of our place and have whether it was a Coke or a Snickers bar. Sometimes he had a big Schmidt Big Mouth or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But he would sit there and he would be grateful for what we did that day, even if shit went wrong.
That's a good way to be.
He was just a positive guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I so miss that so much. So if somebody would have a Schmidt 6-pack, Schmidt Big Mouth 6-pack, if I'd pay big money even if they tasted sour at this point, just so I could sit out in my front area where I have my fire pit with a couple of my good friends and say, let's talk about the good things in life, man.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's a good way to be. And if you can do that every day like your dad did,
my dad would
make your life a lot better.
He was just positive dude, man. He was a very positive guy. Yeah. My mom, on the other hand, she was a feisty German lady, and she was pissy about everything.
The old sauerkraut.
Oh man, she was stout, man. She was like 4'11", and her hands are bigger than Shaquille O'Neal's. And the only reason that was because she spanked us all the time, and it spread her hands out.
You want them heavy hands getting you when you got out of hand.
We knew. All right, let me get to these. Master John says, follow with the frozen Dr. McGillicuddy's. Oh, I love Dr. McGillicuddy's. I do.
I had apple pie McGillicuddy's in one of our hunting shacks. That's good.
Hold on. I'm texting Wayne Muth. When I asked him if he wanted to do a show, and he says, no, I got Cowboy Mountain shooting tonight. Well, he just got back. He says, how you doing? I said, we're still on the YouTube. I said, Jamie filled in for you. We're still talking about this stuff here. So, okay, I got to get there. YouTube killed me. I still get around. Cool. I drink to that. All right, thanks. Yeah, Schmidt Big Mouth. Oof.
Yeah, I don't even know if they do make those anymore.
Do you remember those things?
Yeah, you pulled the lid off with your finger, and then like the middle of it came off, and you still had the aluminum around the outside of the lid. And then
you could take, I don't know how it was. It was a long time ago, but you could separate them, interlock them, and use it as like a spinning fidget and like fling it out to people.
Well, you know too that there's always like people would find a lid for them and make salt and pepper shakers too. That was pretty popular around when I was growing up. That people around our area did too.
I like salt in my beer. I do. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I like my blood pressure really high, evidently.
Well, I mean, as long as you're feeling good, whatever, man.
There's the thing, Jamie. You just said something right there. You know, a lot of people get after some people, but, Bud Light. I still have some people in the Rame area. They are top of the notch people. Still drink Bud Light. And you know why? Because they are top of the notch people. They don't care one way or the other. One of them is deputy of our fire department. He's a huge local guy in the area and does so much for the community. And I don't if he wants a Bud Light, I'll buy him a Bud Light. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care
one of my
bit.
best friends in my entire life still drinks Bud Light. So
I just got sent a photo of Schmidt Big Mouth beers. 1971 is when they came out.
Really? That the year I was born.
You're 71, baby? Oh, you're an old dude. You know who's I don't even know. Wayne Muth just joined the conversation after doing cowboy mounted shooting.
Yeah.
All right, Darren Mund. I'll text my cousin and see if he can get some. He has a liquor store here in town. Okay.
Sweet.
I do mounted. Well, I gotta screen this here because
I do like Grain Valley Leach if you ever drink that, but I've never seen that in the pounder.
You got to get away from the pounders, my friend.
No. When somebody gives me regular beer, it doesn't even feel right in my hand. It feels like I got a little pony in there.
Well, give it to your wife and she'll feel like it's a huge thing.
Right.
Stop trying to improve yourself.
Yeah, I'm compensating for something when I drink pounders, so I like guns.
All right, so here comes Wayne Muth all of a sudden. They also had beer called Mickey's. They had the same bottle of Big Mouth. Yeah, Mickey Gillies. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember, but in Urban Cowboy, they were drinking Lone Star, Bud and Sissy and the rest of the boys.
I went down to Keith Warren's daughter's wedding and Lone Star beer, man. That's where it's at. It's where it's at.
Still, huh?
Oh, boy. If you're in Texas and you want to be a local, so it was a BYOB wedding. Okay?
Yep.
Maddie Warren, you've seen her. Cute as a butt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'm very, very good looking.
All right. We had Keith Warren. His brother, twin brother, runs a huge podcast and radio program in Texas about RVs, of all things.
No shit.
RVs.
Okay.
You never expected this. This guy's a multimillionaire talking about RVs, right? We walk into the wedding dance. We went to the wedding. Beautiful Catholic church. It was an old church down in South Texas, man. It was beautiful. The acoustics, they didn't need speakers. That's how well this one thing was done.
Wow.
It was like the Abbey in Richardson times 20. It was phenomenal. Anyway, it was a BYOB. There was beer and wine, not good beer and wine, being offered at the facility, but it said on our end thing, bring your own booze. If you want something, you bring it. Dixie and myself, John and Tess Polcheski, showed up to this wedding, went to the liquor store, and the liquor store didn't know what hit them. We showed up with 20 bottles of whiskey, bourbon, rum,
holy crap,
everything. Soda pop, mixers, solo cups, the whole works. We had a supper table that had more alcohol than the bar at the facility because they said bring your own booze.
Yeah.
Guess which table had the most action that night?
Oh, let me see here. The boys and women.
Let me
from North
tell you.
Dakota there.
The North Dakota boys ruled that whole wedding. And we're the only ones that know how to dance to a waltz, polka, two-step, country swing, Texas two-step.
Yep.
Texas, it's in the name, and they didn't know how to do it.
Well, I'm not going to say too much. I'm not a very good dancer, so I mean, I've been told I'm not as bad as I think I am, but yeah, the Texas two-step. I mean, it's in songs, right?
It is.
What's that song? She's just dying to do the Texas two-step.
I don't know that song. Sing a little bit more. Let me hear you.
Well, then the steel guitar comes in there. I don't know. That's the only line I can remember. It's from the 80s, though.
Jeez, how old are you?
53.
Hey, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I have an early morning. And Jay's texting me. He's like, hey,
Understandable.
is it supposed to be available yet? I will find a way to get some Schmidt Big Mouth for the fire pit.
Awesome.
Because when a friend asks for help, you help them. Absolutely.
Well, if you get some and you crack it, send me a pic or a vid
Hello.
there when you're having somebody.
It took me until 9:00 tonight to get my horses in, Jay. And I'm bringing the goddamn semi tomorrow because that's the only thing hooked up to my trailer. So I hope I can get into the pasture, and I might be. It all depends on how I get them caught here in the corral. So
I thought you were bringing the semi no matter. Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
It's hooked up, my friend. It's hooked up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have yourself a good one, man. I still have about an hour of work to do to send other radio stations tonight, so I got to let you go.
Yep, no problem, Scott. Hey, no, everybody listening and watching, don't forget, Scott's going to be on Monday, him and Clay Peterson, my buddy, my partner in Guns in the 701 on Dakota Mornings, 9. You're on the first hour, right, Scott? 9 to 10?
9 to 10 Central Time, 8 to 9 on the real man's time.
Yeah, rattlesnake time, baby.
That's right.
So, yeah. And then Friday, and then 16th, next Friday, I'm going to be on for the full 2 hours. First hour, I'm going to be on. Kelly Armstrong's going to be my guest. So,
good enough.
Talking guns and shooting.
Guns, shooting, and politics, I hope.
I mean, I try to keep politics. He said he talks that all the time, and he said he enjoys talking guns because he's a big gun guy,
That's true. Yeah.
big hunter, and he said he just enjoys not talking, politics all the time. But we'll see. You never know. If he brings it up, I'm more than happy to talk about it.
I'll call in and ask him one question. How do you feel about Jeb Williams?
I'm in the minority. I get along with Jeb good, so I don't.
That's fine.
But I know he does some of his policies I definitely disagree with. But
Jamie, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for asking me, buddy. I appreciate you too, Scott. It's been fun. Have a good one at helping your buddy out tomorrow.
Right.
Hope you get them Schmidt Big Mouths.
Schmidt Big Mouth. All right. Have a good night, buddy. See ya.
You too, Scott. See you, bud. Bye-bye.
All right, YouTube. I have some I didn't realize I have more production to do here tonight. So I'm gonna go take a squirt and come back and do some work. If you want to call me, call me. Catch you later.